You get in life what you focus on. And some of you guys, you're focusing on what's not present in your life, on the lack of opportunity, on the lack of money. And then you wonder why you can never seem to get yourself in a good position. Because that's all you focus on, is the lack thereof. Instead of focusing on the abundance of opportunities out there. Instead of telling yourself that there is so much money out there, so many potential customers. Just by making that shift in the way you see opportunity, in the way you see wealth, ensures that you can start to make progress towards its attainment. I used to be that guy. I used to talk about how the job market is so crap and no one's hiring and this and the salaries are crap. And I never got a good job with that mindset. I was always in some dead-end jobs, making crap money. And I was negative. And I didn't like the way that I felt. When you're negative, it actually affects your health, man. It really does. You're depressed. And what a lot of guys don't realize is that you are inflicting this state of mind on yourself. Now, is the world a lovely place that's stress-free and everything's always great? No, that's not the way the world is. So I don't want you guys to be naive to the realities of life and how oftentimes you're going to face difficulty. No, prepare for it. But for goodness sakes, choose to be optimistic, because the alternative is damaging to you. I made a video recently about being a professional optimist. I wake up every single day expecting good things to happen, expecting to win. Why? Because I deserve to win. And I believe in my capabilities. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Do I have a lot to learn? Absolutely. But I'm not going to carry myself in a loser-like manner. I'm not going to second guess myself. Because if I do that, I withhold myself from the opportunities that are right in front of me. It's almost like I pull myself back. When you don't think you can, you don't apply for the role. You let that voice in your head that tells you, nah, you're not qualified. What the fuck are you doing? Forget about it, man. Find something that you can do. That voice, that weak, pathetic voice in your head that's been controlling you for years and years is holding you back. You need to override that voice. How do you override it? By just telling yourself, no, I am fucking capable. I can do the role. And anything that I don't know yet, I will learn. Nothing is outside of my capabilities. Everything can be learned. And trust yourself to learn it. You know, commit first, figure it out later. That's a philosophy I live by. Commit first, say yes, then learn on the job. That's a characteristic that will serve you well in life. Not, oh, let me gather all the information first, make sure that everything is in front of me and I know what I'm doing before I... You'll never know what you're doing on day one. You'll never know. The objective is to progressively, over time, improve your understanding, improve your capability in your field. Give yourself the damn chance. Right? You've got to mature into that position. And I know some of you might be feeling like, well, Ali, but what if I accept a job that pays me a lot more than what I'm used to, and then they discover that I'm not? So you're saying all of that before you've accepted the job, before you've even tried the job. You might get started in that job, and then you realize, well, actually, hang on a second. What was I scared about this whole time? I'm doing a great job. So you don't know until you start. A lot of people right now are in positions that are paying handsome salaries, and they didn't know how they got the job. A lot of them are like, wow, okay. You know, I know one guy, he's on a 140,000 a year salary. He didn't know how he landed the job, but he didn't stop himself. That's the thing. He didn't say, well, actually, no, that's way too high. And he's 25, by the way, young guy. He didn't say, well, hang on a second, that's far too much for somebody of my age. No, he said, yes, I'll do it. Right? See, it's not just what you know. It's not just your information. It's also the way you carry yourself. That impresses people. In business, you know, you see Dragon's Den, you see Shark Tank. When they make a decision on somebody, yes, of course, the commercials, don't get me wrong, they are important. But beyond the commercials, it's the man himself. It's the woman herself. What are they like? You know, some people, they convince the dragons or the sharks because of their personality, because of who they are. They can tell this person's an honest person who really is passionate about the product or service that they're offering. You know what? I see this person going a long way. I want to help them. Even if their plan originally was not to invest, they can make a change purely because of attitude and just who they are, their transparency. And so bet on yourself. Some of you guys, you're on all these sports betting apps. You're betting on Scott McTominay to score an overhead kick for Scotland to take them to the World Cup, right? But then when it comes to yourself, you're on LinkedIn and you're looking at roles that pay £10,000 more than what you're used to. And you're like, oh, no, I can't do that. That's far beyond my capabilities. It's like, come on now. Come on. Don't be upset if you're in a position that you dislike a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, because you are holding yourself back. You are getting in your own way. You are preventing yourself from finding out. You know, this life is short, man. In the grand scheme of things, come on, zoom out a little bit. Sometimes it helps when you zoom out. We are a rock with a bit of water on it in the middle of a galaxy that currently has no life on it beyond the life on our planet. And we are one of billions of galaxies. Come on, man. You're afraid of applying for a role on LinkedIn that pays 10 grand more. Come on, man. You know, zoom out, for goodness sakes. Go for it. What's the worst that can happen? You get an experience out of it, and you would have been paid a bit more money than you're used to. Always helps, right? And every experience that you undertake teaches you something. Even if it doesn't quite materialize in the way that you'd hoped. It teaches you something. You derive something out of it. No experience goes to waste. It all counts. It all helps. There's that concept, right? Fail forwards. You learn from this experience, then you go again. Now, I don't even like using the word failure because I don't see it as failure. It's a necessary part of the process. Failure in my books is giving up. It's throwing in the towel saying, I can't. That's failure. But making mistakes along the way, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to. No one gets it right the first time. Or very rarely at least, right? So believe in yourself, man. Go for it. Believe me, just making that shift, focusing on the abundance of opportunities, telling yourself, no, this company has more money. You know what? I'm going to ask for more than what they are offering because I believe in myself. You are selling yourself. In every encounter, in every scenario, you are always selling yourself, whether it's in an interview, selling yourself to the recruiter, whether it's on a date with a girl. You are selling yourself. Now, I don't want you to think of it in a desperate way. You're not sitting there saying, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. That's not what you're doing, but who you are, your aura, your energy, that's what you sell everywhere you go. Believe in that. And if your aura is not quite good at the moment, you can change it. Change it by improving yourself. Boost your self-esteem by doing things that you previously were too scared to do. That's how you build your self-esteem and your self-confidence, because you start respecting yourself a lot more. When you take on board challenges that previously you were too afraid of, you respect yourself, even if you don't get the result you had hoped for. Just the fact that you tried it, you get a little boost of self-esteem. You're like, you know what? I'm proud of myself. You know, I went for it. Granted, it didn't quite work out, but I'm proud of myself for going for it. How many people would have done that? You know, you build that up over time by doing more and more. And then you have an experience that goes tremendously well. But that experience would not have taken place had you not failed along the way, had you not had previous experiences that weren't quite as fruitful. Okay? So thanks for watching, gents. Please, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, comment. It helps with the algorithm. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. See you guys in the next one.